Thanks for having us. We meet again. So this system of mushroom farming you said is climate control system.
Yes.
Briefly explain what that is for a first-time farmer hearing this word.
Okay. So mushrooms, we all love mushrooms, and for mushrooms to grow, they need three things to work in their favor. So they need the right level, the right temperature, the right humidity, and the right ventilation in the cropping room. So what we see here, what we are standing in, is a cropping room. Cropping room with shelves, with the necessary equipment for the mushroom to grow. So we have systems here, like a humidity sensor, a CO2 sensor, and cooling to make sure that the mushrooms get the right ingredients for growth. So when you look behind you, you see that there's a humidity sensor. That makes sure that every time in this room, we have at least 80% humidity, because mushrooms need 70% and above humidity at all times in the cropping rooms.
Okay.
We also need a temperature of between 22 and at most 28, but we love to try and be around 25, 26 for our cropping rooms.
Okay.
Then we also need ventilation, because mushrooms breathe in oxygen and breathe out CO2. So that's where the third system comes in, that's the CO2 controller. That also makes sure that anything above 1,000 parts per million, we call it 1,000 ppm, our CO2 sensors will turn on our extractor fans, because we want it to be energy efficient. Which means the fans are not on all the time. They only come on when they need to come in to bring enough ventilation into the room.
Okay.
So at 1,000 and above, it comes on, it turns on brings in oxygen, takes out the CO2, and then a room is back to normal.
Okay.
So when these are all in place, we have a proper functioning cropping room with proper harvest every day.
Okay. So this is the third farm I'm visiting that is into growing mushroom. But this system of growing mushroom, that is a climate control system. Are you the first to introduce it in Ghana?
For this is a unique system, which we will own, because other people may have tried it, but they copied exactly what is in Europe, China, and who and brought it here.
Right.
We have tried to fuse what is Ghanaian and African and traditional with what is modern. So you can see that even our cropping rooms are if from outside they look very traditional. You think it's a normal Ghanaian mud or thatch house, but then when you come in, you see that, oh, okay, so you have this, you have that, and you have this working for you. So we will own the system. Okay. We have fused both worlds.
Okay. So the cropping room, it's made of blocks, right?
We use mud. So
mud?
Yes, mud is
no
the insulation. No.
Oh wow. That's amazing. Then you use the thatch to roof it.
Yes.
Why the thatch? Why not the normal roofing sheet?
Okay, so the roofing sheets will bring in heat into the room. Okay. We are trying very much to keep heat out of the room. So we use the thatch. Even on top of our ceilings, we put another form of insulation, which we call rock wool. But I think in Ghanaian parlance, it's called fiber. So on top of the ceiling, so that we keep heat out of the room as much as possible. Then whatever we are doing in here will be more energy efficient. So because we've tried to take heat out of the room as much as possible.
How many mushroom bags do we have in each cropping room?
So this cropping room has about 3,200 2 kg bags. Okay. So usually in other farms you see 1 kg bag. We thought 1 kg bags were not as productive as 2 kg bags, so we took it a notch further and decided to crop mainly 2 kg bags. So this entire farm, we can crop at full capacity about 18,000 2 kg bags. That's 36,000 tons of waste producing food every season.
Okay. Now, when it's come to the bags itself, do you do this yourself or you buy it from another farm?
We buy from our suppliers. So we are members of an association, and we try to promote business in the association,
Right.
the Alpha Mushroom Cluster. So we buy from members of the Alpha Mushroom Cluster.
Mm.
So they provide bags. We try to make some of the bags ourselves, but copying at least 14,000 bags a season, we can't make all of those bags.
Okay.
So we give business to everybody around us.
Right. But are you aware of what goes into the mixture of the contents to grow the mushroom?
Yes.
What is it made of?
Yes. So this is a sawdust substrate.
Okay.
So this contains wheat bran, rice bran, lime, and sometimes any other additives. Depending on the farm, maybe they might decide to add moringa powder or any other additive to make it to make you get productivity from each bag.
Okay.
But this is mainly sawdust.
This is size what? 2 kg.
This is a 2 kg bag.
How many circles of mushroom do you grow from this bag?
We keep these bags when they come in for 3 months.
3 months.
Yes.
Then you have to dispose them.
Yes.
Okay. What becomes of the substrate after you are disposing them?
Okay, so we take them to another place. I'll show you where. We reorganize them. We work on them, and then we give them to vegetable farms and other farms.
Okay.
So they put it directly in their soil,
Right.
mix it up. Especially those who want to do organic farming,
Mm.
they take it from us a lot because they don't want to add fertilizer.
Okay.
And it's very good manure
Right.
for your crops.
What becomes of the plastic?
The plastic, sometimes difficult to dispose of, but for people who want to do seedlings and co, they take them and then they will put their soils in it and grow seedlings out.
Okay. So how much is one bag? Well, how much do you buy it at? The price?
This bag, this is 10 cedis per bag.
10 cedi.
Yes.
All right. Tell me, when the bags are delivered, what do you take? The process that you take it through before you start seeing your mushroom, even thinking of harvesting.
Okay. So when the bags come in, we arrange them from the trucks here, and these need to be done with care because sometimes even the handling, the trucks bringing it to the farm, maybe they may have broken up on the way and go, and the mycelium network will find it a bit difficult to reorganize and then come out as fruiting bodies. So we pack them well, and we leave it for about 5 to 7 days to make sure that if they were broken or anything, sometimes a bit longer for the bags that are really more damaged than the rest, for them to group together. Then after maybe about a week, we open these bags. So if some of them might see like from example has formed on the front of the bag and they are coming off, we gently scrape those off,
Right.
and then prepare them for harvesting. So sometimes when they come in between 7 and 10 days, you get your first flush. We call it first flush, your first harvest.
What time of the day is it required or acceptable for your suppliers to deliver the bags? What time of the day?
Ideally, very early in the morning or towards the evening. Because the more it stays in the sun, we don't really love the bags to stay in the sun. So sometimes even by 5 o'clock, our trucks are already at the supply station to take the bags and then bring it up here. So sometimes by 8,
Right.
latest 10, they are here.
Okay. So I see these rags are made of metal.
Yes.
Do we have other rags made of wood?
Yes.
Okay. Which one is more durable?
Well, these are more durable than the rest. But even if you want to start a farm, you can use bamboo for your racks. You can use normal wood for your racks.
Okay.
When I started my first farm, they were all bamboo racks in my daddy's backyard.
Okay.
So as you advance, you change things so you get more durability out of the things you buy.
Okay. All right. So on a daily basis, tell me the tons of mushroom you harvest on daily basis.
This month it has been a pretty rough month. So on average we harvest about 25 kg a day.
Okay.
But in other months, like last month, we harvested over 1.1 tons. That was averaging about 45, almost 50 kg.
Right.
So on a good day, we got 80. On bad days, maybe we got around 20 kilos or 15 kilos.
Right.
So it averages.
What time of the day is acceptable to harvest your mushroom?
So we do it very early in the morning. Then, if there are, for example, as you see behind you, there are bags that we feel have not mushrooms haven't grown big yet.
Okay.
We harvest them again in the evening. So we do morning and evening harvest. So these ones will be harvested in the evening.
So this is due for harvesting.
in this evening.
This evening?
Yes.
It's due for harvest?
Yes, I think by this evening it would have grown bigger.
Okay. All right. So when you harvest, tell me the handling method after harvesting. First of all, what do you harvest them into? And then right after harvesting, what do you do before the packaging happens?
Okay. So we use our scissors, our brushes, and the buckets, and then baskets to harvest.
Okay.
So they come in here in the morning, they pick up their gloves, put it on their hands, then they take their scissors and their brush. They harvest, drop it. So we have 2 buckets.
Right.
One for the waste, one for the mushrooms.
Okay.
So the basket for the mushroom, the bucket for the waste. So that simultaneously we are making sure that we don't cause too much death even after harvest.
Contamination.
Exactly. So and the buckets and that's how we do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when you are done with harvesting and packaging, you have to deliver it straight to the off-takers, right?
Yes.
If I receive mushroom from you because of its perishable nature, where is the preferred place to keep it?
In your fridge. Between 3 and about 6 degrees. That's the best way to keep mushrooms.
Okay.
If it's a lot, for example, we harvest a lot a day, we put them in Ziploc bags. We pack them in Ziploc bags. But if the most preferred way mushroom must be kept in the fridge is in paper.
Okay.
Because mushrooms perspire, so they sweat. So the paper absorbs the moisture of the mushroom. It will stay fresh for a very long time. If it's in the plastic bags, it doesn't stay as fresh. But because we are traveling with them, the papers might turn cool. We pack them in big bags, take them to our off-takers. They repack them to smaller packs and supply to the shops and malls.
Okay. Averagely, how much mushroom do you sell in a day? How much? Averagely.
On a good day, about 100 kilos. Sometimes about 200 kilos because I take also from other mushroom farmers to sell.
Okay, so monetary wise, how much? How much do you make from sales on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, 3, 5, 4,000 cedis.
Every day. Okay, please take calculator,
Yes, because if I'm selling, for example, if I did 100 kilos that day, and the average price is 70, that's 7K a day. Because I take for myself and others to sell.
Okay.
But maybe at the farm personally, that would be 4,500 because maybe a portion of it came from me and then a portion came from others.
So in between 4 to 7K on daily basis.
Yes.
Interesting.
Supply.
Who are your main targets? I mean, those who you supply to. Who eats mushroom? Because me, I don't like fresh mushroom. But you said you're going to show me another way of enjoying mushroom. Who do you sell to? So that if I'm coming into this space, I know who I'm targeting or who I'm likely to sell to.
Okay, so we do hotels. We do restaurants, a lot of restaurants in Accra. We also do people, let's say aggregators who supply the malls with mushrooms and other vegetables.
Okay.
And we work with other farms who take to supply their clients as well. So one very good client I'll mention, we've worked with for over 7 years, and it's So Green Organics.
Right.
Because this is a purely organic farm, and we supply them. He also does purely organic mushroom farming somewhere in the British. So we give him, for example, we work with hotels, and we work with someone like Fiesta Royale, we supply them. We work with Afrikiko, Tam Cuisine, we work with them.
Oh, wow.
We work with the Mixed Restaurant, Indulge, a lot of the prestigious restaurants in Accra, we supply them.
Girl, you're doing good. You're doing good. I should come and learn something from you. Now, beyond eating mushroom fresh, what other value-added products can I make from mushroom?
So I mentioned before, I think we do the dried. So the dried is also then milled into powder. You can use that for shito. You can use it for, there are people who buy it from us and use it for mushroom cookies. And that is very delicious. And some people are also trying to make a lot of other pastries out of it. Your samosas and your spring rolls can be filled with mushroom. There are restaurants right now that make mushroom pies. So there's a whole range of products that can come out of mushroom. And purely vegan based.
Right.
Also good for those who don't want to eat any meat or any fish or anything. Yeah.
What's the most challenging aspect of growing mushroom or becoming a mushroom farmer?
I think mastering the 3 elements that the mushroom wants, which is your humidity, temperature, and your ventilation.
Okay.
Once you're able to master and know how to bring these into play in any cropping room, I think you are good.
Okay. Is there anything mushroom doesn't like? Because I was asking you if these are for sprinkling water for the mushroom, do I use my normal Ghana water or I should drill borehole? What is the preferred standard water for such a system?
I think you should drill a borehole.
Why? Why not Ghana water?
And make sure that your borehole is in a place that doesn't have a lot of salt.
Yeah.
Because Ghana water has chlorine and other alum and other things that they put in there, which would hamper the production of the mushroom.
Yeah. So I shouldn't use Ghana water?
If you use Ghana water, put it in a tank, open, let the chemicals in there evaporate. Right. So I think there's a method. Even some people sometimes, even for, let's say, for snail farming, they use Ghana water, but they make sure that things evaporate, they don't have any source of water. Yeah, so you do the same. Open your tanks or whatever you put the water in, let it stay for at least 24 hours. Everything evaporates, then you can use. Okay. But straight, no, I wouldn't advise that.
Okay. Now I realize that some of the bags are not open. They are still very tightly closed.
Yes.
Why? Why are they all not open?
So these were brought in around the same time, but we try to schedule our openings in such a way that we always have mushrooms to supply. So we don't open all the bags at once. Otherwise, when your mushroom bags can be open everything, the first 2 days you have a bumper harvest. Then your client calls you the next day, there's no mushroom to supply. Right. So we stage the openings of the bags per schedule, so that every day we have mushrooms to supply to anybody who calls at any time.
Okay, so her name is Aram, and she is the CEO of. She's the co-founder of
Eco Mushroom.
Great, I never got hold of her name, but she's doing amazing things here. Aram Moni, Mr. Cedis, shout out to you. We will have to go to court. But the system of mushroom that is being practiced here is climate control system. In this day and age, agriculture is becoming more technology. And so if you don't catch up with the trends, you'll be left behind. I'm sure you've seen me interviewed some mushroom farmers, but today what we see here, I will make sure cameraman pay attention to the specific things that are in this room, so you take notice of it, and perhaps you want to put that into your system when you're also coming to stand. My name is Enyunam. This is still the Ghanaian Farm. I'm going for a quick breather. When I come back, we'll talk more. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying. If you just tuned in, this is the Ghanaian Farmer. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, the Ghanaian Farmer TV, please subscribe, drop a comment, and of course, remember to share the links of all the videos you're watching. Get interactive on other platforms like LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, and of course on Facebook, the Ghanaian Farmer. Remember that we are still talking, enlightening you about the climate control system of growing mushroom. Now, I also noticed something, that on the right, you have labels with TDI. I don't know if you are voting here. What is happening with this labeling?
Okay, so we take bags from different suppliers. We produce some ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to know who we took it from and the quantity of bags we took from that supplier. So that's why you see that on the paper tapes we put there, we wrote the type of mushroom it is. Right now we grow 2 different types of oyster mushrooms in this room. Okay. So we have the grey looking ones, and then we have the one that's sort of whitish. Right. So we've labeled them per supplier, per quantity, so that when we are harvesting, we know which supplier we are harvesting from.
Okay. Among the 2 you mentioned, which one is in high demand?
Okay. So the grey right now is what Ghanaians eat a lot and know of. The white we're also trying to push. Well, as part of the association's work, we are trying to push different varieties of the mushroom. And the grey, it's softer and used mostly for stir fries and breakfast meals and co by restaurants. The white ones, we push those to people who make soups and stews and co with the mushroom because it's firmer and it tastes more like meat than the grey.
Okay. How would you describe the mushroom industry in Ghana?
The mushroom industry right now is an interesting thing. When I was much younger, when my daddy used to do it at home as a hobby, as a side hobby. People didn't really know mushrooms that much. It was a bit more difficult to give mushrooms. People thought, oh, it is only the ones that are foraged in the forest. Those are the ones I'll eat. The ones that are grown, what are you bringing me? Does it have poison? Or, there's this perception that people had. But I feel over time that perception has sort of eroded. There are a few people who I've met who still are very cautious.
Yeah.
So for me right now, it's a very interesting landscape, a very interesting industry to be in, because I even believe that mushrooms are the superfood of the future.
Right.
There are lots of things right now that are being done with mushrooms. And mushrooms are even nature's way of regenerating and renewing the earth. So right now I feel like we are contributing here in a very big way towards food security, towards alternatives to in protein. Yes.
What's the difference between the mushroom you grow here versus the one that grows in the wild?
Okay. So these oyster mushrooms also grow in the wild.
Okay.
The ones in the wild, well, we get more variety. Even sometimes around here on the farm, we harvest a few. There are some anthill and termite hills. We harvest the termitomyces from it, the very big flat ones. Yes, you can harvest a few.
Okay.
So the difference is that those ones don't come in quantity, and they come per season. So if you have it during rainy season, you can go around and harvest a lot. You have it at home. But during the dry season, when the sun is out and so forth, you won't find any of those mushrooms anywhere. And the little you find is very expensive.
Okay. Now, how many staff do you have under your watch?
So currently we are 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I need some special knowledge before I can come and work in this space? Or if I want to set up something of this sort, do I need some special knowledge?
Yes. I believe to be an industry person, or to be in this industry, you need to learn the science behind what you're doing. I often find that people enter into the space and don't really know much and want to do it. I had the opportunity to enter this space because my daddy did training with FRI. He learned the science behind the hobby he wanted to enter into. And that's what has influenced my choice, and I'm standing here now. But right now you can go to FRI, CSIR FRI at Shashi. They give trainings. Members, the Alpha Mushroom Cluster also gives training. Some of its members give training. Even here at the farm, we have developed a 12-course module for training people. So yes, learn the science, invest in the science, learn it, and then you start. Then at least some of the learning curves that we have crossed, you don't now go and make those mistakes.
Okay. Now, on a monthly basis, how many tons of mushrooms does Ghana consume? And those of you in that space, are you able to meet the production demand or the consumer demand?
Sadly, no. Ghana consumes at least 6 tons a month. We produce on a monthly basis averagely about 900 kilos to a ton.
Not even at all.
So if we are lucky, we can do 1.2.
That is all you can do.
Yeah.
Hey.
Our goal right now is to reach 1.6 before the end of April.
Okay.
But at least that is a huge chunk of what we need monthly.
It means this is sort of sorry for catching, but it's like an area that a lot of farmers are not looking.
Yes.
Why? Is it because you guys are not telling us the benefits, the profitability of mushroom farming, or is it because people are not? What is it that farmers are not looking in this area more?
Okay, so when EHV came into this space, we realized that we have a lot of small mushroom farms and people doing home hobby mushroom farming. There are very few big players in this space. And even when they say they are big players, they hardly do 5,000 bags per season. So we realized that because of that, there are lots of factors that are difficult to control, even as a group, because everybody's doing their own small thing somewhere. And because of that, people have not sat down to put numbers together to educate the rest of the public that, hey, this small thing I'm doing, this is how far it's going. They do it as a hobby. They are not writing numbers, they are not keeping records, they don't put data down, nothing. But we do things here differently. We have records of each batch production and whether the batch was a good batch or not. So if that even informs our buying decisions from the suppliers, to know that this supplier is good to work with, this one stop working with him. But I feel information and data is key to winning in any business space, and that is where EHB comes to play.
Okay. I see some lights around. Do you switch it on all day?
No. So if you permit me, I can show you another light setting that we use. But it will go a bit darker in the room. Okay,
no.
Okay,
we
so
don't want that.
we switch between this and blue.
Okay.
So we've done some research that shows that the blue lights inform the mushroom growth.
Okay.
Also play a good role.
Right.
Also with the white light. So we switch between both. So when we are all leaving the room, we'll turn on the blue light. And when we come into the room, we turn on. Yeah.
So what's the hours, the calculated time? When you switch on the blue now, is it till tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Before
until
so you
someone
are
comes
coming
in.
back.
If we are coming back to do harvest in the evening, it goes back to what we are seeing now.
Okay. A little bit told me that you were once working in some big multinational organizations. And you say your father had influenced you, so you resigned to become. What were you doing? What's your background actually?
I have a master's in human resource management.
Okay.
I went to the University of Ghana Business School. 2006 to 2010 to do my BSc, and then I went back in 2012 to 2014 to do my MBA. Then I worked with a company called Genki. They were into biometric software. So actually, my team managed Genki along with STL, were subcontractors of STL, managed the elections 2012 and 2016. We provided the BVD verification devices for the elections.
Right.
And even my voice was what was on the BVDs during the election. So if you were either rejected or verified, you heard my voice in the elections.
Right.
Because we were a small company, Africa. It was a Dutch company. The Africa office was in Ghana, and I was the head of admin that helped the company grow to a certain point.
Okay.
In 2017, I left. I joined another US company, also part of it based in Ghana. It's called Moringa Connect. Because I wanted to learn about the agribusiness space before I venture into it myself.
Okay.
So up to 2019, I worked there as their HR manager. I got to learn the space, got to travel around their hubs, learn what it is to be in the agribusiness. Then 2019,
you're like, enough is enough.
Oh yeah, I was even pregnant with my last boy.
Okay.
And then I left the corporate world for good.
And you've been here since.
Yes, I'm going.
Is it worth it?
Yes.
Is it worth it?
Yes.
Leaving behind the allowances, the travel, and all that to become mushroom madam.
Sometimes I miss it. So even on the side, sometimes I do HR consulting on the side because sometimes I miss the corporate world and the conversations and the you have around work and cool. But I don't think I would say I want to look back. No.
How has your background as an HR helped you in managing your business to this point?
I believe it has helped a lot because organizing people, leading people, motivating people to work it's not an easy thing for any person, for any business. But because of that background I have and what I've learned, I'll be able to relate well with my partners, with my staff, and then together we are doing great things. I believe the team at EHB is a unique team. And that is why we are going as far and as fast as we are going. Because I can't do it without Eric right behind me, without Derek, and without Benjamin, without Haida, my partner. Exactly. So the team was brought together. I am an HR with a mushroom background, and then Haida and his team, they are engineers.
Okay.
They are irrigation engineers. So these things, cooling and cold, they are things they mastering.
Right.
So I brought that background. They also brought their science. We put it together, and this is what it is.
I wish your partner was here. I would have asked how did you guys meet? What was the conversation that struck the business relationship? But finally, the diasporans, especially the Ghanaian diasporans, there are some Nigerians or African diasporans, have eyes on Ghana, and a lot of them have interest in agribusiness or agriculture. Is mushroom something you advise someone living abroad to invest in? And what would be the best way to keep eye on it, even if the person is far away?
I'm strictly against absentee farming.
Right.
You would need to put in a lot of structures to do absentee farming. But if you want to invest in agribusiness, and I believe maybe you invest in a farm that is already functioning and already has a system in place. That is easier for you to venture into the agribusiness space. You get to learn and you get to have a feel for what it is before you try to do something as absentee farming on your own.
Okay.
Because you'll be promised heaven, but you get hell. Because you make all of the investments and then you are somewhere and then the farm doesn't run well or the business doesn't run well. So come and get involved or invest in a farm that is doing well.
Thanks so much for having us on your farm. But before we say a goodbye to our viewers, what would be that message you want to leave to that young Ghanaian man or woman, corporate person struggling? Do I resign? Do I stay? What do I do? That aspirant, what do you have to tell them? What worked for you? And you want to share just a bit with them. Your final words.
Okay. I believe what worked for me was the support I have. My family is a very supportive family. I have one of the best husbands in the world. Your support system, I believe, is one of the best things that will help you in this space. So make sure your support system is on point. Also, your enthusiasm, the passion with which you want to get involved in the project, it should be there. Because at some point, you feel like giving up. But it is that support system, it is that inward passion is what is going to tell you, hey, once you are resilient, once you are consistent, because I've been in this industry for 8 years. It is now that we are at this point. It is the consistency, the persistency, and getting involved with the right people. That teamwork right now is what you see here at EHB. So I believe it's not really a lot of luck, but it's a lot of persistence and perseverance.
Okay, so that's Aira Moni, the co-founder of Eco Mushroom. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to get interactive. Remember to subscribe and of course share our videos. But this has been very insightful. You know what? There's a part 2 of this interview, and we are going to go into the financials. Yes. Let Aram give a startup person who want to go into this space some breakdown, and let's see what we can make out of that. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.